Kathleen Seide with Seide Realty, and you can find me at ystpete.com. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the real estate market statistics that just recently came out from the Florida Association of Realtors and give a little perspective on what's going on in the Tampa Bay area and what it means for you. So let's dive into this. I have some stats right here from the Florida Association. I'll put those image of that or a link to that down in the show notes down below. We're looking right here at information for September, comparing 2019 to 2020. The number of closed sales year to year is up 13%. So we're seeing a lot more market activity in general. In September 2019, the Tampa Bay area had a little over 4,000 sales. And this last month, we saw 4,600 sales. So that's a 13% increase, which is pretty significant. Also, just to note, the Tampa Bay market area we're talking about is not just Pinellas and Hillsborough, but it also includes Pasco and Hernando counties. So the number of properties where the sale was paid in cash has actually gone down about 2%. Median sale price, this is a big one, guys. Median sale price went from a median of $248,000 for a property, single-family residence, to $282,000. That's a 13.7% increase year to year. That's pretty extreme appreciation considering how level and mellow things had been for maybe not the last 2 or 3 years, but prior to that. So we're seeing the same sort of appreciation and maybe an increase in it than we had in the prior couple of years. I didn't expect that. I expected with the pandemic happening for everything to not only slow down but mellow out a little bit. So that's opposite of what my gut instinct had actually said. Dollar volume, we're also seeing, so we're not only seeing, we're seeing a number of sales, we're seeing higher median value for sales, and we're seeing obviously those combined to see a higher total dollar value of sales. So 1.2 billion in sales a year ago, and we're up 32% this year. So that is $1.6 billion in sales for September 2020. Things are definitely leaning towards seller's market on this. Across the board, the sellers are in a very strong position. So a year ago, we saw a 97.3% list to sell ratio. And what that is the difference between what a property's asking and what it actually closes for. So that's an indicator of how strong the seller's negotiating position is and how much a buyer can expect to get off of the asking price when they're negotiating. So 97.3 a year ago. This year, 99.2. So that's increased by 2%. Change year over year. So 99.2% is really, really close to asking price. And what's happening there is that when a property goes on the market, especially ones that have great curb appeal, great photos, maybe video tours, some of that stuff that helps buyers self-select really quickly, you're seeing properties that have multiple offers on them in a short amount of time, and they are possibly getting over list price. That's a lot more common now than we've seen in market a couple years ago. Median time to contract is significantly reduced. So a year ago, it was 27 days from when a property would go on the market to when it would be under contract. We've seen a 59% decrease. So last month, September, the time from list to market was 11 days. So just over a week. And properties would be gone. Median time to sale, so that's from when it got listed to when it's closed and the seller hands over their keys and they get a check and they get to go move on with life. That was 70 days a year ago. That's reduced 18.6%, and we're looking at 57 days now. So just under 2 months from when you put your house on the market, you can expect to be gone and be doing your next thing. We're seeing more pending sales. We're seeing more new listings, but not a ton more. A lot more inventory that's sitting in a pending status rather than an active status. And inventory in general, properties where buyers can actually go and take a look and make an offer, we're reduced 46%. So a year ago, buyers in our area had an inventory of about 10,500 properties to look at when they were looking to buy a property. Last month, it was 5,550. So that's a almost 47% decrease in the amount of inventory that's available for them to look at. It's just there's not a lot available to see, and the stuff that comes on the market goes quickly. And so what we're looking at there is a 48% decrease in the months of supply of inventory. And that's a measure of how strong of a seller's market it is and how strong a seller's negotiating ability is during the market. So what that means for home buyers is that you need to be very prepared when you're going to look at a house. Anybody that's in the real estate market right now knows that the market is very weird. It's busy, it's moving quickly, and there's not a lot of time to settle, think, and make decisions. Pro tip. Go through the process of getting very clear about what you need, what you want, the lifestyle that you want to live, and how a house might support that. So if you're coming into a property with that in mind, the things that are really important to you, the things that make you feel like you're home, and the experience that you want to have when you're home, the look, the feel, what feelings do you want to have? Do you want to be relaxed? Do you want to have space for friends to come together once the pandemic's over? Do you want to have, what experience do you want to have when you're home? Get really clear on that, because that's going to make the process of finding a home a lot smoother, a lot less stressful. And then you want to have your finances together and a lot of your research done up front so that you are ready to make an offer in a very knowledgeable way. So all of that is great prep for buyers right now. And understand that you may not have the leisure of spending a couple days thinking about whether you want a house or not. Now, if you're not ready, you don't think it's right, you're unsure, definitely take your time. But if you decide to wait 3 or 4 days and think about it, just know that it's likely that there's going to be multiple offers, and if you're not in the mix, you are not going to be able to buy that house. Now, for a seller, it's a unique situation right now. It's definitely a seller's market, and you can sell your home a lot more quickly. But with all of the time pressure and the rush that you see and the number of buyers interested, it can create a very stressful process for a buyer. Or for a seller, I'm sorry. So as a home seller, there's a lot of things that you can do to help smooth that process out, make it a more pleasant experience for you, and make sure that you're getting what you need to out of your sale and moving forward with your life in a way that is functional for you and that supports the life that you want to live. So when you're getting ready to put your house on the market, make sure you really take a look at curb appeal, staging, and then make sure that the agent you hire spends time with professional photography and high quality marketing to get your home out there and clearly connect with buyers who are doing a lot of filtering on the internet right now. You want to get the most number of offers in as you can and hopefully create a bidding war where you're going to get a higher price for your property, right? So this is advice that's going to get you there. Now, you also want to have an agent that you can trust to help you navigate and negotiate when you have multiple offers. There's a lot of ins and outs that happen in all these offers, and you want to make sure that you've communicated what your goals are to your agent so that they can help you navigate and look at which of these offers best fits and best aligns with the plan that you have for yourself. And maybe there's something you can go back and forth on with a buyer that will help support you in your process and make the selling of your home less stressful for you. Also know that because things are going so fast, a lot of buyers don't have the luxury of taking the time to really think about whether this is the right house for them and do a second or a third showing before they actually make an offer. And what that means is that some of that process is going to happen during your inspection periods. It's more likely now than normal that you're going to have contracts fall through during inspections. There's buyers out there who are using inspections as their second or third showing. They may be putting in contracts on multiple properties, and in inspections, that's when they're deciding which one they want to move forward on. That's how it's happening because of this time pressure. And I would say don't let yourself get super flustered if that happens. Make sure that you know what you want when you're negotiating with a buyer, and that if they're backing out of the contract or during negotiations, if they're asking you for something you don't want to give or you don't feel comfortable with, stand your ground. You don't have to bend over backwards, but understand that that means your property's going to go back on the market and you're going to go through this process again. So it can be a little stressful, and if you have somebody that you can trust that understands this, they can walk you through this in a lot smoother fashion. So that's what's going on in real estate in Tampa Bay area right now. If you have any specific questions, go ahead and say hello down below and drop your questions down below, or send me a direct message, and I will either answer you, or maybe I'll do a whole video on your subject because it really applies to more people than just you. All right, have a great day, and I hope you're doing well. Bye-bye.